Hey folks, Budget RC here with another rig rundown. This one is a two-wheel drive ECX Ruckus. This is a vehicle that I built for my dad shortly after I built the circuit for my son. After my son and I got our vehicles and started having lots of fun, my dad wanted to join in, and so this is the one that I did for him. This vehicle was done in a very similar way to what we did with my son's circuit. This vehicle was purchased on eBay. It was labeled as being used. However, it appeared to be completely brand new, except that it did not include the original 27 megahertz transmitter, which was okay by me. We got a great deal on the vehicle, and right away I bought a FlySky GT2B. This is a nice, inexpensive 2.4 gigahertz transmitter with your typical FlySky stuff under the hood. What's nice about this particular model is that it uses a LiPo rechargeable battery. So instead of screwing around with AA's all the time, you just plug this in to a USB outlet and it'll recharge for you. It's been a good transmitter. They're about $25. No complaints for that kind of money. Moving on to the vehicle itself. The first thing you see is this nice ram body. This is certainly not the stock body. The first gen Ruckus bodies that this comes with are a little bit thin, and after a couple of crashes you'll probably break it like we did. So I just recently upgraded this for my dad. He's got a 2010 Cummins Dodge in the maroon color, so I decided to go with this body from Proline. This is their 8th scale body, which you can see is a perfect fit to the long wheelbase Ruckus. And we painted it up similar to my dad's truck, but added a little extra. With RC vehicles, it's always fun to jazz them up a little bit. It was a pretty simple, straightforward paint job. However, I did put this stripe on the hood and cover it with that Ram decal. And on the side, you can see this nice little design here that was somewhat inspired by the Hemi Cuda design. Other than that, pretty straightforward. Hopefully, we'll get good durability out of it. Looking under the hood. This has been upgraded to a brushless system. We did run it for a while with the stock 20-turn brushed motor, but these brushed motors get really hot in these. They're not geared well enough to be able to provide reasonable top speed and still stay cool. And this one was no exception, especially running it in grass. It didn't last very long. So what I did was to upgrade this to brushless. We are using a 60 amp Hobbywing EzRun speed control, and the motor here, as you can tell from the green, is a Tacon motor. This is a 3650 sized can. It's a 3500 kV. The motor and speed control came from Hobby Parts with a Z, hobbyparts.com, and the pair was about $70, which I think is a real big bang for the buck here. This has been a great motor, as is the speed control. Both of them are kind of basic, no frills, but they do the job great. I'm running this very conservatively with the gearing. I don't remember what size pinion I'm running, but I want to say it's around the 17 or 18 tooth. It's the same pinion I ran on the 20-turn brushed motor this came with. Top speed is what we consider adequate. It's not going to win any top speed races, but it's quick enough to be a lot of fun. Still has tons and tons of torque and never gets above about 130 degrees. So it just stays cool, so we should have great reliability. The only other upgrade I've done from stock here is to upgrade these drive shafts, and I upgraded the differential. On the very first pack with this new motor, we tore out the idler gear and the transmission. These came originally with all plastic gears, but you can buy the metal gear set, which is what I did. Put them in. It's been great since. The first generation ECX vehicles had issues with their drive shafts. What would happen with these, and if you have an ECX vehicle and it hasn't happened yet, it will, is that on the first gen units, this little universal joint here would tear out because the plastic would flex and allow it to come out. And once that happened, it would weaken the plastic and it would just keep happening. On my sons, we upgraded to the Traxxas drive shafts, which have been great. They're not directly a bolt-in. They require a little bit of work to install them into the transmission, but not very much. These are the second generation ECX drive shafts, and these drop right in. They're made for these vehicles, and all of the newer ones come with them already. So far, I can't say which is better. Neither has failed. On 2S, I think either is adequate. I have a suspicion that this one is going to fail. I don't know if you're going to be able to see here. We had some stuff get wedged down in here, and as a result, it started to wear this right here, which is now most likely going to be a weak point, and I'm expecting them to fail. But through no fault of their own, when you get stuff in there and you start wearing them out, you know, that's going to happen. Other than that, the only thing I've done to this is to help stiffen the servo saver by using a wire tie. This is a kind of a common thing to do with these ECX vehicles. My son's circuit, you may remember, I upgraded the whole steering assembly to a T4, Team Associated T4 steering assembly, which is a lot stiffer than these. On this truck, I haven't done that yet. The original ECX servo, which is very weak, is still holding on. So I've left this pretty much stock except for this wire tie. Some folks have had good luck with this wire tie mod. Others haven't. I've had good luck with it. I think the reason I've had good luck is actually the type of wire tie I've used. The typical cable tie that you see looks like this one here. I'm going to focus. There we go. You can see it's got a corrugated back piece, and then right in here there's a little plastic tab. And when you install these, the plastic tab, you can hear it. It connects right here, and that plastic tab is what holds. Come on, focus. That plastic tab is what holds them tight. The problem is that you can only go so tight with them. If you tighten to here, but you want to go one more click tighter, but you can't, what you may end up with is a tightness that's not adequate. Also, because it is just a plastic piece in there that holds them, sometimes that plastic piece can allow for some movement and not be as tight as you may want it. The type of wire tie I used is a different type. You can buy these under the Tie Wrap brand. You can see if it'll focus. If it'll focus, it's not going to focus. There we don't go. Anyway, this is a smoother design, which is probably why you can't tell. Yeah, I guess you can tell right there. And instead of the plastic nub in the head, it actually uses a little steel one. Can you see that? I have to take my word for it. It's steel. When you tighten these up, these can get ridiculously tight, and they hold their tightness. I know it sounds silly for me to explain the difference of tie wraps, but it matters, at least when you're doing it here. And when you use that style on here, you can get them nice and tight, and this will stiffen up your servo saver so that your steering will be much more responsive. It will still slip, and combined with the fact that we're still running the ECX plastic steering linkages will result in steering that's less than perfect. However, it will save your plastic servo, which we've had some hard crashes with this, and this servo has still managed to survive, which is why I haven't upgraded it like I did on my son's circuit. That's it with this vehicle. That's all we've done to it. It's been very reliable. We've had some hard crashes, but this ECX plastic is so soft that those crashes just don't damage anything. Let's see if you can you see how flexible that is? Sure you can. Look at that. These pieces are incredibly flexible. Watch what we do with the steering arm, with this control arm. It's just incredibly flexible. You can move it all around. Not great for handling, but certainly great for reliability. So that's it with this ECX Ruckus. There's not a lot that we've done to it because, frankly, we haven't needed to do a lot, but it's been a lot of fun and very reliable. And one last word. This is the first generation Ruckus. The first generation trucks had a very different tire than the second generation trucks. I don't have any experience with the second generation trucks, but folks have generally commented that they don't have great grip. These older first generation trucks use a really soft rubber with a pretty good tire pattern. And this vehicle has really impressed us with its climbing abilities and its overall traction. It'll traction roll on grass. It'll pop wheelies on dirt, on pavement, on grass, and even climbing up rocks and other steep things. This two-wheel drive truck would climb just about anything that my four-wheel drive Stampede would climb with its stock tires. Those Stampede Talon tires aren't known for their grip abilities, but it's a four-wheel drive truck, and this truck would climb just about the same stuff that would. Now that I've upgraded the Stampede with different wheels and tires, it's much more capable. But for a two-wheel drive truck, this thing will climb a lot of stuff with these factory original tires. And their height is a little bit taller than most of the aftermarket monster truck tires, which gives it a little bit more clearance to go over some rough stuff. Overall, this has been a very reliable truck. It's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to continued reliability from it. So that's this rig rundown. I hope somebody was able to learn something from it and enjoy it. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Until next time, this is Budget RC. All right, here we are with the Ruckus outside. We'll take off with a couple easy starts to show that there's no cogging with this motor, and then we'll do a speed run or two. So first, let's take off nice and easy. Now this is only a 2-pole motor, non-censored, but you can see how nice and easy it takes off with no cogging. Very impressive. All right, let's see if we can get a speed run before any cars come. Now, as I said, this is geared down, so there's not going to be real impressive speed. All right, car coming, so let's get off the road before it gets here and see what our speed is. Oh, can we get out of the sun enough to see this? All right. So according to this, I got to get out of the sun. All right, according to this, we've got 29.08 miles per hour. Of course, this won't focus. There we go, 29.08. So like I said, considering how low this is geared, I'm quite impressed with that. It's tons of fun and stays cool as a cucumber. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this and maybe learned something. Until next time, this is Budget RC. We'll talk to you then.